Squats are a compound lower body movement that can be great to develop leg strength, muscle mass, power, and endurance based upon how you program them. Unfortunately, many lifters find that they have trouble reaching full depth in the squat, and this can be for a couple different reasons. Some people lack the coordination and control to actually reach full depth reliably, whereas others have true flexibility or mobility limitations that actually limit their squat depth. If you're one of the people that does have actual flexibility limitations that is affecting your squat depth, what you don't want to do is just go onto Google, look up a bunch of different stretches, mobility drills that you think might help, and then throw them all together in one sort of makeshift program and just hope that it helps. What you should do is identify the actual limitations and flexibility that you do have that is limiting your squat depth, and then perform targeted stretches or mobility drills specifically for that area or for those tissues. And today we're going to discuss how to figure out if your ankle flexibility is the thing that's limiting your squat depth. You see, to squat as deep as possible, you need good ankle dorsiflexion range of motion. This movement is basically bringing the top of your foot up towards your shins, and in the squat you can see this by allowing the knee to go far forward over the toes with the foot flat on the floor. Having good range of motion in this particular movement will allow you to squat deep and keep as upright a chest as possible. On the other hand, if your ankle dorsiflexion range of motion is limited, then you're going to find that you have a lot more trouble actually reaching full depth in general. Your knees won't go far forwards over your toes, and you're going to be much more hingy with your torso inclining forwards a lot more than if you did have good dorsiflexion range of motion. So to figure out if your ankle dorsiflexion range of motion is limiting your squat depth, there are two main tests that you can do. The first is the half kneeling wall test. To perform this test, you're going to get in a half kneeling position with your toes of one foot, one hand's width distance from the wall. From here, you're going to keep that foot completely flat on the floor and drive your knee as far forward over your toes as possible, trying to touch the wall in front of you. In general, if you can easily touch the wall with your knee, then your ankle flexibility probably isn't the limiting factor in your squat depth, and you want to assess different areas of squat mobility. However, if you can't easily touch the wall, then your ankle flexibility might actually be a large contributing factor to your limited squat depth. It is important to know that this test is not completely accurate, as the relative length of your femur and your tibia can play a part in the results that you get from this test. If you have a relatively shorter tibia, it can be a lot harder to touch the wall in general, even if you do have really good ankle flexibility, which is why you want to try to incorporate the second test into the mix as well. And the second test is just simply squatting with a little bit of a heel riser. Typically, we use a small 5 to 10 pound plate underneath the heels with your feet in the regular squat stance that you would typically use when squatting. From here, you're just going to squat down and see if you have a lot more ease or comfort in the bottom of your squat, or if your squat depth has just significantly improved relative to when your heels are flat on the floor. If you do have a lot better squat depth with the heel riser, then it actually is pretty likely that your ankle flexibility is a contributing factor to your limited squat depth. The reason why this is the case is that using a little bit of a heel riser places your ankles in a little bit of plantar flexion, which effectively increases the amount of dorsiflexion that you can move through before you hit your end range for that range of motion. On the other hand, if there really isn't any difference in your squat depth or your ease of achieving squat depth with the heel riser, then it's likely that your ankles probably aren't a limiting factor in your squat depth, and you want to check out different areas as well. If you were limited in the half kneeling wall test and then found a significant increase in your squat depth when using the heel riser, then you would likely benefit from including some direct calf flexibility work and ankle mobility work to improve your overall squat depth permanently. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel for future videos on different injury and training related topics.